స్టార్ట్ చేసేద్దాం. సో గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ డియర్ స్టూడెంట్స్. సృజన, ఓకే. టుడే the last unit in the academy book and also last unit in the second year NEET book, NCERT book. So ecology and environment, that is the topic. Already in the branches of biology and zoology, we have given the definition of ecology. You know the term ecology coined by whom? Haeckel. Do you remember that? Haeckel coined the term ecology. Haeckel also contributions, there are so many contributions are there for Haeckel. Not only the term ecology, the cladogram, branching diagram also given by Haeckel, and the term coelom also coined by Haeckel, and also ecology coined by the scientist Haeckel. The same Haeckel defined the ecology as definition of ecology is study of organisms in relation to environment. In relation to environment. You should not forget about this, because ecology itself deals with the environmental science. So that's why in relation to environment we must mention. One thing I wanted to give you the most valuable information. Recent NEET examination, 8 questions have come from this ecology. Second year, actually 4 to 5 questions must be given. So this time more than 4 to 5 questions given from this unit, ecology and environment. Study of organisms in relation to environment is the definition given by the scientist Haeckel. Or study of different species in relation to environment, or interaction of abiotic and biotic components. In relation to environment in the sense, abiotic components. What are the abiotic components? Non-living. Means light, temperature, water, soil, pressure. They all come under the environmental factors. They are all abiotic factors. Environmental factors are 2 types. Biotic factors and abiotic factors. Biotic factors means producers, consumers, decomposers. Producers means plants, consumers means animals, decomposers means bacteria, fungi, etc. They are all come under the decomposers. That's why this is the brief account of definition. Study of organisms in relation to environment. It is also called environmental science. If you want, you can keep in the bracket environmental science. It is also called environmental science. Okay. So ecological adaptations are most important in speciation. Ecological adaptations definitely bring so many changes and variations, and they must be selected by nature. That is called positive natural selection pressure. Positive natural selection. It is also called positive natural selection, because the adaptation is means definition of adaptation means adjustment of organism to the environment according to new environmental conditions. Suppose if the environment is changed, even human beings also, if you go to higher altitudes, we will be acclimatized, adjust with the environment. Naturally we will be adjusted with the environment, acclimatized with the acclimatization. That is nothing but acclimatization. So that adjustment is nothing but a new change occur in the environment. Accordingly our body is adapted. So ecological adaptations play a vital role in the speciation. So that's why ecology also plays vital role in the speciation, means formation of new species. Ecology refers to speciation also. In the sense of speciation also we can use the ecology, because these adaptations must be selected by nature and passed on to the next generation. That is called speciation. So new characters will develop according to new adaptations, new changes occur, new changes leads to variations, variations leads to the cumulative effect, and that leads to the formation of new species. So ecology refers to speciation subjected to positive natural selection, positive pressure of natural selection. Better you say pressure also. It is positive pressure, not negative pressure. Means positive pressure, why should we say? It leads to speciation. If it doesn't leads to speciation, then you should not say it is positive pressure. So that's why positive pressure of natural selection. So formation of new species occur, but our lifespan is not sufficient to see the changes of evolution. So going on changing the environment, going on changing the characters. When the characters are changed, variations occur. So these variations are cumulative. This cumulative effect of these variations leads to a particular new species. So that leads to speciation, provided subjected to selected by nature. Natural selection must be there. Otherwise, it will not become a new species. So that is ecology refers to speciation. For example, for adaptations, I will give you 3 examples here. For adaptations, you see the polar bear. First of all, polar bear is an Alaskan bear also, north extreme, because North Pole is Arctic pole. Where the polar bears are there, they develop more fur to prevent the loss of heat from the body. More fur is developed. Fur means hair. Fur means hair. You can see the white colored bears are there, They are because the snow is there. Snow is white in color. Accordingly, the hair color of the bears also change to white. And more fur is developed to prevent the loss of heat from the body, because it is very cool and frigid conditions. So the body, if the heat of the body is also lost, what happens? They will die. They cannot tolerate the extreme cold conditions in the polar ice caps. So best example for this adaptation, polar bears. These are all ecological adaptations. In the polar regions, polar ice caps are there. The frigid zones are there. Icy zones are there. So severe cold conditions are there. They have to overcome all those unfavorable conditions. For that purpose, to overcome the unfavorable conditions prevailing in the polar ice caps, they develop the more fur. This is also one. Another one is to avoid the freezing. Insects add glycerol to the hemolymph. The blood of all insects. Yesterday itself I told you, hemolymph. They add glycerol. Glycerol is an anti-freezing agent. Otherwise, the hemolymph will be frozen into ice. So to avoid that, they add glycerol. Glycerol acts as an anti-freezing agent. So this is also another adaptation. By adding an anti-freezing agent, insects, they can overcome that problem. Even the lizards, for example, desert lizards you take. So desert lizards, North American desert lizards, they bask in the sun. Basking means just like humans in winter, when the winter comes, when the severe cold conditions are there and cold breeze comes, we too cannot tolerate. Generally we go, suppose if you go to village, all villagers, they bask in the sun. So basking means, మనం in Telugu we call it చలి కాగుట అంటూ ఉంటాం మనం, వేడిగా ఉండడం కోసం. So to warm up the body, lizards bask in the sun. Lizards bask in the sun. When the outside temperature is reduced, when the outside temperature means outside the body, the temperature if it is reduced, that is in the environment, then they come into the sun and bask in the sun. This basking is a best adaptation. When the temperature rises or sun hot increases in the summer season, they go to the shades and shadows. So they go into the shadows when the temperature rises. Go into shadows or shades when the temperature rises. So, for example, I am telling you, in such a way, so on and so forth, they undergo these adaptations to overcome the unfavorable conditions. These three examples, for example, I am giving here. Basking of lizards in the sun to warm up the body. To warm up the body. You can also write that point. After getting heat, we can also continuously stay in the sun. Immediately go into the shade. So that is the another adaptation. And a famous ecologist, animal ecologist, Odom. Famous animal ecologist is there, you know. He is Odom. A modern ecologist also. Odom described. So academy book, you turn the first page in the academy book. If you turn the first page in the academy book, the second page, you see that first paragraph, animal ecologist Odom. He said that analogies are used for habitat and habitat and function. Function of the organism described as function are also called niche. Functional status of the organism is also called niche. And habitat means address. He used the address for the habitat and he used the profession for the function. So these two analogies are used by the scientist, animal ecologist. He is an animal ecologist, not plant ecologist. Odom. Haeckel is common to both plant kingdom and animal kingdom because the kingdom Protista also created by Haeckel. So that's why, because Protista is included by all unicellular plants and animals, only unicellular plants and animals. So animal ecologist Odom described the habitat as address and function as the function of the organism as profession. These two are used. And another two aspects of ecology are there. These are biogeochemical cycles. What are they? Biogeochemical cycles. Biogeochemical cycles means, you see here, all minerals and nutrients and energy, these are recirculated from one trophic level to another trophic level, from organism to another organism. They are recirculated. So this is for first one is biogeochemical cycles. You must take this nutrient cycling. Nutrient cycling refers to what? Minerals and nutrients absorbed from the soil. These are absorbing from the soil. By whom? Plants. Then from plants to consumers. Consumers means animals. First consumers are herbivores, second consumers are first carnivores, and third consumers are second carnivores. Like that, so on and so forth. In trophic, it enters into the food chain. And after the death of these organisms, again these minerals and nutrients are added to the soil by decomposition activity of bacteria and fungi. Decomposers do that function. Decomposition means breakdown of organic matter into inorganic nutrients. That inorganic nutrients are in turn essential to the plants. From plants we are obtaining, all consumers are obtaining from those things from plants. Again after death they go to the, see, this is called natural recycling. So minerals, that is nutrient cycling, biogeochemical cycles. And secondly, energy flow. These are the most important fundamental aspects of the ecology. Energy flow, another important aspect, second component. Energy also, plants first trap the energy from sun. radiation energy, is converted into chemical energy. That chemical energy means during photosynthesis, plants can produce the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are chemicals. So that's where radiation energy is converted into chemical energy. From producers, that energy is entered into the trophic levels, food chain. Herbivores, first carnivores, second carnivores, like that, so on and so forth. Again, after death, the remaining energy left, that is added to the, again, the chemical cycles, biogeochemical. That's why these are all recycling. Biogeochemical cycles are nothing but recycling of nutrients and energy. So this is also there. That's why to maintain the homeostasis, UNCED, UNCED, what is UNCED? United Nations Conference on Environmental Development. United Nations Conference, Aikyarajya Samiti, United Nations, Aikyarajya Samiti, United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. That is the full form of UNCED, Environment and Development. D stands for development. UNCED, that is a full form, conducted Earth Summit. UNCED వాళ్ళు కండక్ట్ చేశారు. Conducted Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro. In biodiversity, already I told you two summits, Earth Summit and World Summit. Do you remember? So, Earth Summit conducted in Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro, when you write, you should write down like this. Don't use capital letters. This is a best city in the Brazil. Best city, largest city in the Brazil. So in the bracket you write down, it belongs to country Brazil. A beautiful city also in the Brazil, in South America. So United Nations Conference on Environment and Development is the full form of UNCED. Conducted at Summit, Rio de Janeiro, at Summit at Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. So that's why this summit give a slogan, it has given a slogan, think globally and act locally. Think globally and act locally. When any person, all the humans in the world act locally, automatically global thinking is there. So you need not call anybody. But this call is actually given by UNCED. What is that call? Think globally and act locally. This slogan is very nice slogan. So that we can save the nature. This slogan is given to protect the nature. To protect nature or save nature. So that we are saved. To protect nature. For the protection of nature, these are the norms taken by the UNCED. Conducted the meeting at the summit at Rio de Janeiro, where they have given a call, global call to all. That is, think globally and act locally to save the nature, so that we are saved. This is about the introduction of that ecology. Okay. Now, human activities also entered gradually. So with the development of organisms in course of evolution, gradually fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals. In the mammals, the highly intelligent mammal is, very intelligent mammal is man, human beings. IQ is developed, language skills developed, brain capacities are increased. So but though we have developed all those things, but we are spoiling the nature by our human activity. That nature, spoiling of nature by human activity is called anthropogenic. It is known as anthropogenic. Anthropogenic activity causes the destruction of nature. That is, construction of buildings, construction of industries, conversion of forest land into agricultural land. All these undo things we are doing. So don't do undo things. You must remember always. So that we can use anthropogenic activity means the human activities. Human activities, just now I have mentioned urbanization, industrialization. These are all human activities to improve the productivity, to improve the needs of the people, meets the needs of the people. They are all human activities. So that we are using pesticides, fertilizers, polluting the environment, that leads to destruction of the nature, which leads to the destruction of the organisms. Finally, human. Because human is the main pollutant, chief pollutant. Last topic is their environmental issues, air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution are there, environmental issues, that heading is last topic. At that time I will tell you again. The most important pollutant in the world, human being. So he is spoiling the nature. So that's why, because we are both primary human activities. Here you can mention we are both primary consumers and secondary consumers. Primary consumers are herbivores, because veg people are there, they eat plant material. So herbivores, primary consumers. And secondary consumers, non-veg people, secondary consumers. So we are both primary consumers as well as secondary consumers. That means omnivores. So like that we are utilizing the resources, human natural resources, and emptying the natural resources also. After some days and after some time, you won't get any food also. You wait and see. Our life completed. We enjoyed. But you are now, at this age onwards, you are facing so many problems. Best example, Corona. Then what to come and what they are going to come in the nature, we don't know. Definitely, there is a future is destructive. I don't want to discourage you, but this is the thing that is going on. We won't get food also. Hey, urbanization and house buildings, colonies are developed. All cultivable land is converted into house constructions and industries. Then where do you get food? Even Godavari district, fertile lands, there also. This is the pitiable situation. So about the introduction about the ecology and environment. And let us go to the next page. Now already I have defined the ecology, that is given in this page, third page. You go to the third page. So today already 2 pages completed. Now we are entering into third page. The main branches of ecology are there. What are the main branches of ecology? 2 branches of ecology are there. What are these 2 branches of ecology? Because 2 marks question now it begins. 2 marks question, now we are entering into 2 marks question. The first one is synecology. A branch, synecology, deals with study of species in relation to environment. Study of same species, I didn't mention different species. If it is mentioned different species, then the definition is changed to another branch. So, the articology, synecology, there are 2 branches are there. So whatever it is, study of, anyhow, we have kept this, 1 minute. First articology, then later on we can go to synecology. Because articology single species, synecology different species. So first of all, let us take this articology. Study of species, same species. Better you mention, not different species. Better you mention the same species in relation to environment. In relation to environment. Another definition is also there. What is that another definition, you know? Instead of species, you can also add population. Study of population, what is the definition of population? A group of same species is called population. That's why you can also study of population in relation to environment is also articology. It is also called species ecology or population ecology. This branch also called. It is also called species ecology and population ecology or population ecology. Articology, three names are there. Population ecology, species ecology and articology. Auto means self, means own species. So in relation to environment. Then opposite definition, it is there synecology. Opposite in the sense different species. Study of different species in relation to environment. Different species means community. That's why synecology deals with sin means union of so many species. Gathering of so many species. So synecology, study of different species in relation to environment. Different species in relation to environment is called synecology, also known as community ecology. Because community, groups of populations is called community. Group of same species, population. Group of populations, community. Groups of communities, ecosystem. Groups of ecosystems, ecology and ecosphere. So that's why this is also called community ecology. And population dynamics and community dynamics. Also there are another two branches related to this ecology. Community dynamics also there. Dynamics refers to size of the population. Dynamics, whenever it comes, it refers to the size of the population. So population dynamics deals with size of the population. So when the size of the population increases or decreases, like that, deals with size of the population. Ruled by the factors, size of the population ruled by the following factors. What are the factors, you know? By the factors natality, mortality. Natality means birth rate, mortality means death rate. This will be explained while population, organisms and population, one topic is there. At that time I will give you that. Of course, the headings in the NCERT book are totally different here also. Headings in the IP Academy book. So deals with size of population ruled by the factors natality, mortality, immigration, emigration, etc. Natality and mortality, and also you can say migration. Migration is of two types, immigration and emigration. Immigration means into the population. The people come, organisms enter. On the population, from the population, if the organisms go out, that is called emigration. Both are combinedly called migration. And then community dynamics. Community dynamics means it deals with size of the community. This is also ruled by the same factors. Deals with size of the community. Size of the community. So whenever the size of the population or size of the community we discuss, then it is called dynamics. Then only you add this word dynamics should be added. Dynamics refers to size. So this is the next page introduction. That is also we have completed. Now let us come to turn the page, fourth page, organisms and environment. That is the heading. Organisms and environment. So this heading let us discuss. In the organisms and environment, another branch is added here. Organisms and environment is nothing but ecology. Study of organisms in relation to environment already. We have given the first definition we have given. So that itself is this one. So in this environment, with regard to the one branch occurs that is called physiological ecology. This is a separate branch. Articology, synecology, population dynamics, community dynamics, just now we have given. If you turn the page under this heading, this first two lines you see, physiological ecology. Physiological ecology stands for, what is that, organisms in relation to environment, but not only for survival, not only in terms of survival, that you have to write down. This is given in the NEET paper. Physiological ecology, very important. Articology, synecology, everybody knows. Of course, articology, synecology not given in the NCERT book. Only important for 2 marks question in the IP examination, not given in the NCERT book. But here, this physiological ecology is there in the NCERT book also. That's why important for NEET. This definition carefully take down. Study of organisms in relation to environment. In relation to environment, not only in terms of survival, you should add like this, this should be added. Not only in terms of survival, but also reproduction. If you add reproduction, then it becomes physiological ecology. So that's why it is called in terms of survival, but also reproduction. Srujana, Satvika, Varshita, why don't you attend offline classes? Better you come, because MPC people, all MPC people attended, and Prabhu also is coming.
Yes, sir, I'll come soon, sir.
You decide yourself, and better it is always, because this is a dry subject, ecology. Physically, if you can attend and listen, then it is very easier. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Study of organisms in relation to environment, not only in terms of survival, but also reproduction, is called physiological ecology. So, that is. And then here, how the seasons occur, these things also discussed in that paragraph. How the seasons occur, rotation of earth around the sun and on its own axis, tilting of its axis, like that it is given. So, during this rotation of earth on its own axis as well as around the sun, it causes the change of light and timings of light, temperature, durations of light availability, durations of temperature, intensity of temperature, intensity of light. These are all very varied. Accordingly, seasons, day and nights are formed, and seasons are also formed. That is given in that paragraph. And also, not only the organisms live in the favorable conditions. This is most important. Not only the organisms live in the favorable conditions. Live in the favorable conditions. So here biomes given, desert to rainforest, all they are given. I don't want to touch because ecological hierarchy is there. There, if you turn the another page, first line is biome. You turn that page. If you turn that page, first one is biome. There I will give you. So that's repeatedly they are there. That's why I didn't touch. So not only the organisms live in the favorable conditions. So favorable conditions occur. Any organism can survive and live. But unfavorable conditions, if any organisms are taking it a challenge, and lead their life, definitely it is a beautiful adaptation. So not only the organisms live in the favorable conditions, this is second paragraph in the organisms in environment heading. First paragraph, seasons formation, rainfall, precipitation, they are all there. Definition of physiological ecology. This is very important. Physiological ecology definition is very important. So, not only the organisms live in the favorable conditions, but also, this is noteworthy point, but also many organisms live in unfavorable conditions also, extreme environmental conditions. Many organisms live in extreme environmental conditions. Extreme means unfavorable. In extreme conditions also, what are those extreme conditions? The humans cannot survive there. Even 1 second you cannot stay there. Such an environmental conditions, some organisms, they are actually occupy as habitats. Really it is scorching desert of Rajasthan. Scorching means more heat. This term is used in the NCERT also. Scorching desert anywhere in the world. In our country, Rajasthan, Thar desert, Largest desert, you all know, Sahara desert of Africa. So that is how scorching deserts, the worst environment, no water, desiccation. Water availability is not there. So that's why extreme environmental conditions. Scorching desert and deep ocean trenches. Who will live there? Can you go and live there? Deep ocean trenches? You cannot. Hot thermal hot springs. Only some bacteria, archaebacteria, thermophilic bacteria live there. Sulfur bacteria, they live there. Others they cannot live. So thermal hot springs means hot springs with, you see, there is a the world's first national park, there it is there. Yellowstone National Park. First national park in the world, United States of America. Yellowstone, why? Because it is sulfur. So always the water is boiling there. Water is boiling there. So the springs come from that boiled water. That is why thermal hot springs. Some bacteria can live. Even at 100 degrees centigrade temperature also, the organisms are thriving there. 100 degrees centigrade, nobody can tolerate. So this is extreme environmental condition. Like that, so many are there. If you say polar ice caps, we cannot. Polar bears, except polar bears and seals, walruses, etc. Polar ice caps also not favorable for living conditions. They cannot provide. And mountain altitudes also unfavorable for living. Higher altitudes in the mountain also. See, you can observe these things. There are so many like this. These are worst. What are the mentioned here? The worst environmental conditions where the humans cannot survive, but other organisms are able to survive there. So there are many organisms live in extreme environmental conditions. The meaning is this. Polar ice caps, scorching deserts, deep ocean trenches, thermal hot springs, all these are. Okay, so etc. So on and so forth, they are all there. Now, the ecological hierarchy. Let us see this ecological hierarchy. Ecological hierarchy means just like hierarchy of classification, 4 marks question already we have discussed in the first unit, diversity of living world, means animal kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. Here in the same way, it begins with ecological hierarchy begins with cell. So in the ecological hierarchy, how many categories are there? 11 categories are there. There are 11 categories. But in the hierarchy of classification, 7 obligatory categories are there. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. There are 7. But here, 11 categories are there. What are they? Cell. Cells grouped into tissue. Second category. Third, tissues grouped into organs. Fourth category. Organs grouped into organ systems. Organ systems grouped into organisms. So up to organisms, no discussion is there given in that page. In that, which number that page? Fifth page. Fifth page. 4 pages we have completed. Fifth page in the ecology. So up to fifth category, no discussions are given. Sixth category onwards, discussion started. That sixth category is population. Organisms grouped into population. Populations grouped into community. Seventh category. You all know about these things. Already we have discussed also. Community, first unit. Community grouped into ecosystem. Ecosystems. Ecosystems grouped into landscape. Landscape grouped into biome. Biomes are grouped into biosphere. 11th category is biosphere or ecosphere, also called ecosphere. So all these landscape definition is there for 2 marks in all the 11 categories. The 2 marks are given. So that's why carefully remember these 11 categories. So up to 5th category we need not discuss. 6th category onwards we can discuss. So 6th category, let us take this. 6th category, population. Group of same individuals. Individuals in the sense species. Group of same individuals is called populations. For example, you give an example, Catla. That example is given in Catla means a common Indian corp, a tautonym. Naza, axis, like that, Catla. It is a, man in Telugu we call it bochu chapa. Manam bochu chapal kontam kada, freshwater fish. Catla. Living in where? Population of Catla in a pond. Generally Catla lives in pond. So living in pond, its population. The same pond, frogs population also may be there. Different populations are there. In the same pond, chlamydomonas also may be there. Like that, group of same individuals, same species refers to populations. So, then community. Group of different populations. It deals with the different species. You can also say different species. Group of same species refers to populations. Or you can say populations. Different populations are grouped into communities. Okay? So that is. For example, 500 to 5,000 to 8,000 feet distance is there in Manas Sarovar, where one pine trees are there. Pine Devadar community dominant. Pine Devadar community it is called. So this wood is used for the preparation of currency notes, pine trees. If you go to Lambasingi, our Visakhapatnam hill stations, Chintapalli, Araku, on the way on the Ghat road, you can see that side and this side you can see this tallest trees are there. They are pine trees. Its wood is used for the preparation of currency notes. Old currency notes are generally prepared by the preparation of paper from this wood. So, Pine Devadar community is the dominant community. It is the dominant community in these altitudes. And ecosystem. Ecosystem is a unit of ecology. Ecosystem is a unit of ecology. It is unit of ecology. Structural and functional unit of ecology. Better you say like that. Structural components are abiotic and biotic. Functional components are energy flow. These two components are there. That's why unit of ecology is simple definition. But if you want to make it, if you want to have a complex definition, structural and functional unit of ecology is called ecosystem. So there are so many ecosystems are there. Aquatic ecosystem, freshwater ecosystem, marine ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, desert ecosystem. There are so many ecosystems are there. Forest ecosystem, they are all there. So let us stop today, and tomorrow we can continue from this onwards. So 9th, 10th, 11th, 3 categories are left. If you want, let us complete. Why unnecessarily we can postpone? Let us take the landscape. Landscape definition also there. What is the definition of landscape? Study of a region with mosaic of ecosystems bordered by natural boundaries. That is 9th category. What is the 9th category in ecological hierarchy? Landscape. At random, if anybody asks you, what is the 7th category? What is the 9th category? At random, you must say. Already we have given that list. 9th category is this landscape. A large region with different mosaic of ecosystems bordered by natural boundaries. That is the definition. This is given for 2 marks also. So landscape. And then biome. The definition of biome is also 2 marks question. Large area with plant and communities, plant and animal communities is called plant and animal communities is called biome. Examples, there are so many. Give examples also. Desert is one biome. It's a large area. And tropical rainforest is also biome. Tundras treeless zone, that is also biome. And if you want, coniferous forests also, another area, biome. These are all best examples for biomes. Define biome and give 1 or 2 examples for biome. That is the question. So these examples, any 4 examples, you can write 1 or 2 examples. This is about the biome. Lastly, the biosphere are also called ecosphere. What is biosphere? What is biosphere? Earth surface which support life. Life supporting atmosphere on the earth is called biosphere. So above the earth, up to space it extends. And below the earth, deep in the ocean, between these two, the biosphere is extending. Deep in the ocean, kilometers distance deep in the ocean, kilometers distance above the earth towards the space. This is also 2 marks question. Last 3 are very important for 2 marks questions. Landscape, biome and biosphere. 2 marks question. So 11 categories we have completed. Unnecessarily, why should we left these 3? So today, freshly we can start tomorrow the other topics. Okay? So I can stop the class.